We are live. Hey, everybody. Welcome to Lindy's Treehouse. I'm Paramount USA, and this is Thankful Thursday. Yes, Thankful Thursday. I am thankful for all of you tonight, everybody in YouTube land, all my viewers, and my chatters, and there we go. Had to get the phone all set up. I remembered to turn the volume down on my phone tonight, so I'm really on it. I am so on it. I've been writing all afternoon so I can entertain everybody tonight with all my crazy shenanigan notes and everything else. I'm just like John Wayne said, just got my gear up, heading to the house. I'm listening. All right, John Wayne. Yeehaw. John Wayne's in the house. Bill H is in the house. And Bill H says, let's go. That's right. That's right. I've been sitting down on my butt like all afternoon just writing. You know me and my notes. I don't have all those fancy iPads and all those kind of things, that people use on the fancy-wancy podcasts. So I just write everything down. And it's actually very therapeutic. I think so. But anyway, anywho, welcome to Lindy's Treehouse. I'm Paramount USA, and we're here every Thursday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, right here, where we share lots of laughs, lots of conversations, talk about all kinds of things, and I am just so happy that everybody is here tonight. I really am. I appreciate every one of you that stop by and visit the Treehouse every Thursday. And Bill H, he gets the Lazy Boy chair tonight. No, Bill H doesn't get the Lazy Boy chair tonight. John Wayne does, because John Wayne was the first in the chat. So John Wayne, you get the Lazy Boy, and Bill H, you get the beanbag tonight. Okay? So I think that's really good. And that's what we do. We use our imagination. Anybody that's just jumping in and has never watched the show before or anything like that. It's Lindy's Treehouse. And what did you used to do when you were growing up? We'd all sit and hang out with our friends in the treehouse and tell stories and laugh with each other and have snacks and all that good stuff, right? And just have good conversation. And that's what my show is all about. I want everybody to leave tonight feeling good, okay? We've got so much stuff going on in the world. I don't want to bring it into my treehouse tonight. I'm just so happy to have you all here. I really am. All my viewers and listeners, listeners, you're watching all that, hit that like button, okay? And if you haven't subscribed, go ahead and subscribe to my channel. It only takes 1 second, just one itty bitty second. Just press that little thingy there and hit that bell, and then you'll never miss a show, right? And I can't believe Monday, right? Monday is going to be fall already. We're already in fall time. Crazy, crazy, crazy. And gosh, yesterday, 4 years ago, I made my big move from downstate to up here to my treehouse. I call my little apartment, right, my treehouse, because I am upstairs. And 4 years ago, crazy. That time just goes like that, right? And I have to say, I have experienced so much stuff, so many adventures. I love it. I love it up here. I love my friends. I love being near my family. They're just a phone call away and all that stuff. Not like they're clear across the states, where I had to jump on an airplane to visit them. Now I just, me and my daughter-in-law, we go on adventures and jump in the car and just go do our thing. So John Wayne says we didn't climb into tree houses when I was a kid. We cut down the tree. John Wayne. Well, see, this is different. Yeah, this is different. I have to, we got to have like branches, something you guys can climb up on. And then the branches kept breaking. So I didn't trust the branches on the tree house. So I made, I had to get a ladder, put a ladder on there. So Bill H says packing for EFD next week. Oh yeah, that's right. I can't keep track of all these fly-ins. I just can't keep track. But Bill H, let's see what I was going to say. I was going to say, Cowboy, Bill H got my package. So you got your socks. He has the socks. Your NASA socks. The NASA socks. Yes. So get with Bill, okay? We got, let's see, Greg Lane is in the house. He says, hey, and Timber to John Wayne and Bill H and Paramount USA. Timber. That's right. Greg Laney, I think mine are scheduled for arrival on Monday. Yeah, I'm sure they will be. You'll get them sooner or later. We'll get them sooner or later, I'm sure. Yeah, there's a lot of peeps out at fly-ins right now that are in the chat, that usually are in the chat. So if you're listening, we'll say hi to Munchkin and Scuba. And I'm not sure where Real Fly is. We'll see. And then Miss Kramer Gypsy, I have to say hi to her. I miss you lots. And same with my Michelle, my two co-hosts that I have, Michelle and Gypsy. I miss them a lot. And they're both doing good. They're doing good. I keep in touch with them all the time. So, yeah. So, this doing this live stream stuff, right, is not for the faint of heart. I tell you, I think I've made some big strides doing this show. Greg Lane says, looking out for Will Cookout. Yeah, there you go, Greg Lane. Yeah, Will's he's probably just finishing up that ice cream from Dairy Queen or something, right? Yeah, so I'm just super excited to be here tonight. I got all kinds of stuff planned to talk about. You guys, we're just going to have a really fun show. John Wayne says, looks like Scuba is going to get a couple of flying days in at the fly-in. And Bill H says, Purdon's flying or soar the shore. That's right. Yeah, Purdon's flying or... So EFD is, what does the EFD again stand for? Endless foot drag. Woo, 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 woo. I got it. Endless foot drag. Yeah. I never was a foot dragger, okay? I just jump on the trike. Any trike I see, I just jump in that seat and I tell them, get me up in the air right now. And they're like, yes, ma'am. That's how it worked, right? That's how I got my last three flights. I said, I want to go up again. I had a temper tantrum and they felt sorry for me, so they took me up. Yeah. No, I love you, Eric Lear. I know you're laughing at me right now. God bless you. I know you're riding high in the sky, Eric Lear. Cancer sucks. We miss you. We really miss you. I thought EFD was Eagles for Dell. Oh boy, now we're going down the dark side. Yes, Eagles for Dell. We're going down the dark side. So hey, my chatters, what are you guys thankful for tonight? Let's start the show with that. What are you thankful for? You can put it in the chat. I'm just thankful for my health, for God waking me up every day, for blessing me with family and friends and food in my fridge, roof over my head, all these things that we take for granted. Exactly, Bill H said, to be alive. Amen to that. Oh my gosh. Amen. I tell you what. Yep. Every day when I get up, I just, when I wake up, I just thank the good Lord. Thank you for giving me another day, which means he's not done with me yet, right? He's got so many things in the store. I don't even know. Scooby-Doo is in the house. What is up, Scooby-Doo? Are you having fun? I'm so glad you're here tonight. And Greg Laney says, weekends, family being my second favorite F word and being, well, I'm going back and forth because the chat's moving. Family being my second favorite F word and being here. That's right, Greg Laney. I love that. Scuba says, yes, got 3 flights in already. Good for you, Scooby. That is so cool. I am so happy. I am so happy. We're probably not going to run the spinning wheel tonight just because I'll wait till, well, next week, next Thursday, I'm not going to be having a show because I'm going to be spending time with family. I got my sister trip coming up. So I'll be hanging out with my sisters and all that next Thursday. But I will be back, and I will remind you guys, but I will be back October 2nd. So, I'll be back on my show again. But if anybody's listening and all that good stuff, and my viewers, thank you so much. I'm Paramount USA, and you're at Lindy's Treehouse, and I'm here every Thursday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, peeps. Subscribe. Right? Just like Gomer Pyle would say, surprise, surprise, surprise. I say, subscribe. You all remember Gomer Pyle, don't you? He was the best. Hi, Munchkin. Gotta say hi to my Munchkin. Yeah, I am having so much fun with this show. It's great. It's great. And I'm thankful for all of you being here tonight. I really appreciate everybody. I check my viewers and I check my subscribers every day. And golly, that's right, Craig Laney. God bless him, right? Who did not like Gomer Pyle? How could you not like him, right? Oh my gosh. The kids today don't know what they missed out on. They really don't. The things that we watch. It is great. It was great. Scuba says, hi, Munchkin. Yeah. So I'm hoping you're all enjoying your koozies and socks and everything. I'm having so much fun with just giving stuff away. Like I said, I'm not going to do the spinning wheel tonight. I want to wait till everybody gets back. We're all back together. I'm just super happy that everybody's getting to do their flying, and Scuba and Munchkin get to spend some fun time and all that stuff with their new tent. Are you loving your new tent? The Scuba loving his new tent. They got a new tent and they're camping and flying, and life is good in the neighborhood, right? So we're going to keep going here because I got a lot lined up here. So we're going to just keep moving right along because I got a stack of notes here. And so I'm going to just do my little welcome speech, right? To welcome everybody to Lindy's Treehouse. Welcome to Lindy's Treehouse, where we climb high, dream big, and explore the world around us. The wild world around us. Tell funny stories, quirky chats, and epic adventures. I'm Lindy, your host, ready to swing through today's awesome topics and some laughs, and maybe drop a few surprises. Grab those snacks, settle into the treehouse, and let's make some unforgettable memories. Don't forget, hit that like button, be sure to subscribe so you can join all my awesome chatters. Yes. So, hello, everybody. Let's get the show going. Will Fly's in the house. Hey, Will Fly. I hope everybody's having a good week so far, too. So, I always start the show. I'm so organized tonight. I scare myself. All my notes. Look at all my notes. I'm going to do open quotes like I always do, right, to start the show. So I've been working really hard all afternoon just for y'all. And open quotes. And the name of this one is Check Your Bearings. That's pretty good, right? Check your bearings. Often we can only see where we're going when we look at where we've been. Isn't that true? Take a long view, be sure you're on track, and that you're traveling with the right companions. Then resume your journey with confidence, right? Yeah, you always want to make sure you're around the right peeps, right? Yes, keep your life going and all that stuff. The positivity, right? I only hanging out with the positivity crowd, right? The positivity. I don't hang out with Debbie Downers and all that stuff. I like my positive people, and that's what I gravitate to. Our conscience, this is really good, peeps. Our conscience must catch up to our reason, otherwise we are lost. Isn't that true? Oh my gosh. Our conscience must catch up to our reason, otherwise we are lost. So we have to ask, why am I doing this? Why am I getting in that relationship? Why am I doing this or that? So am I making the right decision? Should I quit my job? No, maybe not. That kind of thing. So that is the quote of the day. So I hope you all enjoyed that. So now we're going to move around to, you know how I do news to me. News to me. Yes. So we're going to do news to me. John Wayne says, me and Bill ain't got a long view anymore. Will Fly, how's it going? Greg Laney said, how's it going tonight? So see, my chatters are chatting. I love it. You guys, y'all just chat amongst each other, and I'll keep chatting away here for all my viewers and my listeners and watchers and lurkers and all that stuff, right? I'm just feeling really good vibes from everybody tonight. And I want to just keep it really upbeat because it's been a crazy week, and I love just to have y'all here. I really do. So this is crazy. A Florida woman, I'm doing news to me now, okay? This is stuff that I read, funny stories. A Florida woman took her dog for a walk near a creek when an alligator snatched the pet in its jaws. The owner quickly came to the rescue, punching the reptile until it released the dog. So, it's like you take your dog for a walk, and now, before you used to just worry about looking for coyotes to eat your dog. Now you got to worry about alligators eating your dog. I mean, seriously. Oh my gosh. It frustrated me because it didn't say if the dog was okay or not. I mean, how sad, right? So sad. John Wayne says, had a beginner landing tonight. Oh, you did? Oh, wow. That's always exciting, right? Greg Laney says that completes the story. This is crazy. You only need to say a Florida woman to finish that story. Exactly. I know, that's all they said. That's all it said. And I was just like, okay, she took her dog for a walk, whatever, and she got the dog out of the alligator's mouth. Okay, and then what happened after that? Did we save the dog? So let's just say, hope that they saved the dog, right? Crazy. This is kind of funny. A thief in a scuba gear robbed a Disney restaurant and swam away with thousands of dollars. Now picture that, sitting in the Florida restaurant, probably, by the water, thinking you're just going to have a nice chill night, right, with your significant other or whatever, and you see some dude walking in a scuba outfit, everything, and then proceeds to rob the restaurant at the Disney location somewhere in the U.S. That's all they said. They didn't say where or what restaurant it was or anything. Of course not. I wanted to know. I wanted to know some of the details here, right? What restaurant was it? What Disney? Yeah, what Disney? Disney World, Disneyland. Give me more info here, right? Nope, that's another one. They just leave you hanging. So the guy swam away with thousands of dollars. So, man, I've been doing it all wrong, I guess. That's how you go to a restaurant. And I guess, it's better. Yeah, I guess it's better doing it that way than causing harm to anybody, right? And then we're going to go into the animals. The animals. The possums. A possum broke into a home through the fireplace. In Kansas, homeowner discovered an unusual and furry intruder inside their home, and a possum that made its way in through a fireplace. And a police officer was called to evict the uninvited marsupial. Yes. John Billy says, if you can tell someone about it, John, you're doing good. Oh, okay. I'm following the chat here, you guys. You're doing good. I know if I missed something in the chat because I was reading, I apologize or whatever. So guess so. Got new glasses. John Wayne's got new glasses, and I land 3 seconds before I see it. Yeah, we all need our glasses, right? So yeah, so the opossum, they got the opossum, you know, everything ended well on there. No animals or people were hurt on that. The poor police, you know, I guess do you think they train them to do this stuff, to pull animals out of the chimney, the fireplace, right? So he made its way in through a fireplace. So I don't know, did they rescue him from the roof, you know, pull him out of the chimney? I'm not, you know, you wonder about that, right? How they did that. But I'm glad that everybody was okay. And then they said a wallaby was on the loose in England, and the drones have been deployed to help search for the wallaby that escaped from a farm in England. So I guess in England, a lot of people keep wallabies as pets, right? Maybe it was a rescue farm or something. I didn't know you were allowed to keep, you know, I didn't know you were allowed to keep those animals, you know, in captivity like that. But I know they do the koala bears, right? Seen that. So this is an interesting article, yeah. Skimming. It's about skimming. And it says here, skimming is an annual event in Easdale Islands in Scotland. And when that's when the competitors throw a sea-worn Easdale slate stones across the water, so it skims the water, and filled, and it says across the water filled quarry. The object is to skim the stone the greatest distance, with the stone needing to bounce at least twice to be a valid skim. I never heard of this. Let's see. John says, I had a bear stuck in our firewood chute when I was a kid. He didn't make it. He moved to the freezer. Oh my gosh. I can't imagine. I've never heard of the sport. So this is actually a competitive sport, skimming. And I really had to look it up to see what this was all about, right? I don't know if you all heard like skimming, that it's a, you know, it's a game or whatever. Well, I guess some of they had a big event, and there was some scandal in 2025 where several competitors were disqualified for tampering with their skimming stones, which they were caught doing before and being confronted by organizers. So how in the heck do you, I mean, how can you change up the stones? That's what I'm wondering. The skimming, they said they were caught, they were disqualified for tampering with their, so I know what slate is, right? Because when working at Home Depot, I know what slate. It's very expensive, but I've never done that. I know we used to throw rocks into the water, right? And John Wayne, you're pretty smart on this stuff. We just throw water or throw stones, you know, like see how far we could throw the rocks or stones into the water when we were kids. But I've never heard of, it says each participant gets 3 throws and stones must bounce at least twice. The first championship that they ever had with skimming was in 1983. So that's crazy. Let's see. Never could skip a rock. Let's see. Scuba says we had some butter air tonight. It was awesome. I'm so happy. Did you get video, Scuba? You're going to have a lot to talk about next week on your show. You're going to have a lot to talk about. Speaking of shows, I think there's no Ready to Paramotor tonight. I didn't find it. I did message Greg, but he didn't answer or whatever to see if there was a show tonight, but there wasn't. So Did you have gaggle? Did you have your gaggle on, Scuba? Yes. Everybody wants to know. And Scuba said yes. Good for you, Scuba. Yeah, it was kind of iffy, wasn't it, with all that rain they were getting there in Virginia? Oh my gosh. So yeah, so I thought I'd read the skimming article to everybody. I thought that was really interesting because I never heard of that, the skimming. Scuba says I have a video of a whale. Oh, okay, I see it now. I have a video of whole first flight, but on second flight, cam battery died. Oh, bummer. At first, I thought I was reading a whale. You saw a whale. Oh, I have a video of whole first flight, but then the battery died. Oh, that sucks. Dang. So y'all learned something tonight about skimming. Yeah, skimming. So, yeah, because I read this and then I'm like, well, I want to know more about what the skimming's all about. So, yeah, it is a big it's a big competition there in Scotland. It says Eastdale Island, Scotland. So, of course, yeah, they had cheaters. Always won in the crowd, right? Trying to change up their slate rocks, whatever. So crazy. What else? Okay, so I'm Paramount USA and you're Lindy's Treehouse. If you just joined in, come on into the Treehouse. But you have to be subscribed to jump in the chat room. Love to see ya. Jump in and say hi. Say hi. So anyway, we're already in 30 minutes. Very cool. So the word that we're going to talk about, John Wayne says, I don't know who that paramotor was flying by the fair. Yeah, we have a couple paramotors that once in a while my son will tell me, hey, I just saw, I think I saw there's a paramotor flying around. So there's somebody here that flies in to see their mom and dad, and then they fly back out. So, yeah, so there are some paramotor people somewhere that are in this area somewhere. So, kind of cool. But we're going to talk, because I still have some other things lined up here. And we're going to talk peanut butter. Yeah, we're going to talk peanut butter tonight. That's the food of the night, peanut butter. Who does not like peanut butter? I thought that'd be a fun topic tonight. And I tell you, with the Treehouse, we're bound to talk about pretty much anything, right? And so I thought peanut butter would be a fun topic because Greg Laney says, oh, nuts. Peanut butter would be a fun topic to talk about because I didn't used to be a real peanut butter fan, but I put peanut butter on my crackers now, and I snack on the peanut butter because it's good protein, right? But I'm not big like on peanut butter sandwiches or putting peanut butter on my toast. Okay, so put in the chat, smooth or crunchy peanut butter. Tell me which one you guys like. And I know they have some peanut butter that the jelly's already in it, mixed in it. It's like, bleh. I don't think it's that great. But I like the smooth peanut butter. So smooth. Okay, Greg Lane says smooth. Okay, I'm watching the chat. See, we got me too. I'm a smoothie. Yep. Bill H is a smoothie. All right. You got to mix your own consistency. That's what it is. I keep my peanut butter in the fridge because I think it tastes better. I think it will last longer in the fridge too because it's just me and it's a giant jar. And I was eating like peanut butter sandwiches for a while, and then or on my toast, and then I got tired of it. And just lately, I've been smooth like my social skills. There you go, Greg Laney. That's right. Smooth like my social skills. Yes. Yeah, I like smooth peanut butter. So anyway, it's heart healthy. Yes. Rich in antioxidants, right? So let me tell you the history of peanut butter, and you'll be blown away how this all came about. Because I was like eating my little peanut butter crackers, and I'm like, I wonder when peanut butter was invented. Maybe I'll do the show tonight on peanut butter. So here we are, talking peanut butter, right? Peanut butter was invented multiple times throughout history, people. Yes. With a paste-like version created by ancient Incas and Aztecs. The first patent, okay, there was a lot of patent going on back then. Everybody was fighting for a patent for peanut butter, okay? This was pretty big. The first patent for a peanut butter paste, a predecessor to modern peanut butter, was filled by the U.S. by Canadian chemist Marcellus Gilmore Edson in 1884. And then Dr. John Harvey Kellogg, we all know Mr. Kellogg, right, came along, and he wanted to patent it too. It says then patented a process for making peanut butter from boiled. This John Harvey, Mr. Kellogg, said he'd make peanut butter from boiled peanuts in 1895. And then a businessman came around, George A. Bale. There's a lot of people in this peanut butter group here, right? The peanut butter gang began selling as a snack food around the same time. 1904, peanut butter was publicly introduced to a wide audience at the St. Louis World's Fair. So interesting facts here. So Mr. Gilmore, he patented his in 1884, okay? Then Mr. Kellogg came along, and then in 1895, he patented it. And then Mr. Bale came along in 1890s. And then this gets really interesting. Mr. Rosefield created a stable, smooth peanut butter in 1922 under, okay, you ready? The Skippy brand. Yeah, this guy here, Mr. Rosefield, created the smooth peanut butter calling the Skippy brand. The Skippy brand. So we have all different peanut butters here, right? We have Skippy, Smucker's, Jif, Extra Crunchy, Peter Pan, and Reese's. What brand of peanut butter do you guys have in your cabinet? I have Jif. I have Jif peanut butter. It's pretty good. I don't like the generic stuff. John Wayne says my Efren Gray screams for his peanut butter every night after dark. He does? I didn't know birds like peanut butter. Oh, that's funny. Oh, those Efren Grays are so smart. I told you, John Wayne, I had an Efren Gray. Her name was Katie. I named her Katie. Katie Bird. I named her Katie Bird. She was smart. Oh, she was loud. She was very smart. She loved music. She loved to dance. Put music on. She'd bebop all over the place. And Bill says Jiffy. Oh, his brand is Jif. Yep. That's what I got. Yeah, I'm not. I think the generic brand, the off brands or whatever, I think they're more oily. Now, John Wayne says great value peanut butter. See, everybody's taste is different. Because I think a lot of the generic ones are they're oily, right? Oily peanut butter or whatever. So, okay, so that's a story on who invented, when the peanut butter was invented. Scuba says, Will got to fly and so did Shane, but he landed because he was cold. And Scuba's laughing. Oh, I'm so glad you guys are all together, Scuba. I bet you're having a really good time. So Will is there too? So Will and Shane you guys are all together at the fly-in, Scuba? I'm so excited. That is so cool. Bill said, I'll try Great Value. Yeah, some of the Great Value brands, some stuff that you buy, you got to be careful. Some of the great, like, I remember I bought Great Value, I don't know if it was coffee or what it was, and it was like gross. So Okay, so I got more news on having to do with like the peanut butter. Okay, John Wayne said used to make a candle out of what something rationed peanut butter. Okay, used to make a candle. Interesting, John. I didn't know that. So then, as I'm reading stuff on peanut butter, then I started thinking of Reese's peanut butter. Right? What's the first thing that comes to your mind when you think of Reese's peanut butter? Right? Peanut butter cups. Right? Peanut butter cups. Yes, the best. So I did some research on Reese's peanut butter. So Reese's peanut butter cups, which we all love, right? Which we all love. I know they even have Reese's peanut butter cereal, right? E.T. phone home, Greg Laney said. Yes, yes. So the Reese's peanut butter cups were invented in 1928 by H.B. Reese. Now get this, okay? H.B. Reese, get this. He was a former Hershey Chocolate Company employee, all right? Okay. Who developed his own candy business and created chocolate and peanut butter combination in his basement. What? What? Who would have thought, right? And now this guy's like a freaking millionaire, okay? Other early peanut butter, peanut butter. Yeah, they said other early peanut butter candles, they called them Mary Janes. 1914, they were like taffy-like, and they made Goldberg peanut butter chews. In 1917, high protein energy for during the the World War I troops for the troops. And then in 1941, Reese's penny cups began as a response to sugar ration during World War II. So what? Let's see. Okay, so Reese's cups created. This is really cool. See, I probably read it backwards, but Reese's cups were created in November 15th. Okay, everybody. 1928. John Wayne said Mary Jane was something different than the 60s. Yeah, there's a song. Yeah, that's a song. You got that right. I was thinking about that too, John Wayne, about something about Mary Jane. Yeah. I can't think what song it was. But anyway, the Reese's Cups were created November 15th, 1928 by H.B. Reese, right? 96 years ago. So I think we should make it a national holiday on November 15th, every November 15th. Call it H.B. Reese Day, right? Make a national holiday. H.B. Reese Day on November 15th. Everybody get the day off and go buy peanut butter cups and what is it? M&Ms, peanut butter M&Ms and all that stuff. So what's interesting about Mr. Reese, this guy's a billionaire, right? He's a billionaire. He was a former dairy farmer and a shipping foreman for Milton S. Hershey. Okay, so he worked for the Hershey Company. What? Okay. And Reese was let go from his job with Hershey when the Round Barn, which he managed, was shut down for cost-saving measures. Okay, so they had to say, I'm sorry, gave him his paper, said, see ya. So in turn, he subsequently decided to start his own business. So Reese, that's when Reese's peanut butter cups came along. Holy moly, right? 3.1 billion in sales. So who got the last laugh, right? Mr. Reese. Isn't that cool though? Don't you love this history stuff? I love this. They don't teach you this. They don't teach you this stuff in school, okay? You got to come here to Lindy's Treehouse. You got to come here to Lindy's Treehouse to learn this stuff about peanut butter and the history of peanut butter and how it just brings joy to our lives, right? And how many peanut butter and jelly sandwiches we ate when we were growing up. Yeah. And in our lunches and coming home and have peanut butter snacks. And yeah, I remember that was the food to eat, right? And I think my peanut butter crackers, that I make my own peanut butter crackers, my country crackers, I guess they're called. I forgot that I get them off Amazon, but yeah, it's pretty good. So that is your news, Reese's peanut butter and peanut butter facts and all that stuff. I'm getting a drink of my water. This is live. Yes, you're at Lindy's Treehouse. I'm Paramount USA, and me and you and everybody in YouTube land can stop by every Thursday night, 8:00 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. So this is kind of cool. When I worked at Home Depot, they, back in the day, okay, because I got hired in 1987 at Home Depot, yes, and they were still kind of a baby company, right? But they used to give away stuff all the time, and so I've got a collection of these cool koozies, Home Depot koozies. You don't see these anymore. They were just, you go in the break room and they were just laying all over the tables, and they give these away. And dang it, I had a Home Depot coffee mug that I had like forever that I probably got in 1987, 1989, something like that, when they would give stuff, I remember we'd have our meetings every Sunday once a month on Sundays in the store, our store meetings. And this is in 87, 88, something like that. So I was pretty new with the company. And one time I got cashier of the month, and they would just hand you cash, okay? $75, here you go. Sometimes $100, seriously. And that eventually caught up with them, and they couldn't do that anymore. But I think I'm very blessed that I stayed with the company as long as I have, and I got to see it grow from the beginning, right? From the beginning, the beginning stages or whatever, before all this technology came in. So a lot of good memories and everything. And Lord knows, I had like 42 people were in my orientation, 42 in orientation. And it was just a block. It was only a couple blocks away from my house. So I could walk to work, or I could, when I was in Arizona, I could walk to work, or, I could take my car. So I'm sure I told you the story when I worked at Home Depot. One day, it was kind of a rainy off day, so I decided to, take my car to work, right? And so I walked out, and I think I told you a story, but anyway, I walked out, and after a long day, and I proceeded to walk home. And when I got home, my husband's standing there about 15, 20 minutes, just sitting down, just chilling, he's like, honey. And I'm like, what? Where's the car? The car? Yeah. I was like, oh, I totally forgot that I drove that day. So, so I had to walk. It was still daylight, I think, when I got home from work and everything. So I had to walk back to my work. I walked back to work and silly got my car, drove it home. So, So anyway, I just remember, I went back to work with my kids. I was able to stay home with my boys until they were ready to go to school. So I was very blessed that I could be with them those 5 years or whatever. And then I decided, time to make some extra money and go to work, right? So I went and I got hired on Home Depot. And I tell you what, I didn't know one 2x4 from the other. I knew nothing. Okay. So what brings me to what we're going to talk about tonight, because this was something jumping out of my comfort zone, right? I was a stay-at-home mom, taking care of our kids, and all of a sudden I'm out in the working world, and I really didn't know a whole lot about anything. And boy, did I learn, though. And we didn't have all the fancy computers and all that stuff we have now, right? I had these seriously, we had little flip charts that were this size. They call them flip charts. And my Home Depotites, if anybody's listening, would probably remember them. And everything was written on these cards. And so I had to study those, and I had to learn what 2x4, what 2x4s were. I had to learn the difference between oak and birch wood. And by the time, within 5 years, man, I thought I knew everything, right? I knew everything. But so the meaning, let's think about, we're going to talk comfort zones, okay? Because that kind of brought me to it when, like I said, when I got hired on Home Depot, it was kind of, it was a scary experience. Like I said, I stayed home with my boys. So tell me in the chat, everybody, what was your first job? Because this was kind of like my first job, even though I worked at my daddy's store when I was a teenager, but working at Home Depot was my first job. And I stayed with the company for 33 years, half my life, right? Half my life. So, it was, tell me what your first job was in the chat, peeps. So that was kind of like my first job. My first real job was Home Depot. Yeah. And they always had really good benefits, even as soon as I got ready to retire. And a lot of people lost those benefits because they took so much, with all the changes, they took so much away. And I was just happy that, I got grandfathered in, right? Because I got hired. Let's see, Greg says, Albertson's bag boy when I was 16. This doesn't include working at my dad's store. See, you worked at your dad's store too. That's so cool, Greg. And Scuba says, Waffle House. I was eating there and district manager offered me a job. Very cool. Yeah, that's cool. Yeah, when I was probably 19 or 20, I remember I worked at a restaurant because obviously I was still living in Michigan. And I worked at a restaurant. I remember the name of it was, Will Fly says, oh, you did public? Very cool. I love all these answers. Bill says gas station attendant checking the oil and fill and wash windows. Very cool. Very cool. I love that. Will Fly, what did you do at your work? Public. What did you do at your work, Will Fly? So so when I got hired on, I was a cashier because I had that cashier training, with working in my dad's grocery store, right? And so I kind of had that. That's the only training I had. And then I think prior to that, a couple years prior, maybe before I went to Home Depot, I started a job at a grocery store. It was called Mitchell's Market. And I worked there for a little while. And I think, this is when I had Robert. And then I got pregnant again, and I was pregnant with Ryan. And so I think that's when I quit working. And then anyway, and then I raised my boys. And then, but I remember working at another store. And then Home Depot was hiring. And and I went there and started working there. And it was, the first day was so scary, I'm talking about comfort zone, right? They said a comfort zone is a psychological state where a person feels safe, at ease, and in control with minimal stress or anxiety. It's a space where routines, familiarity, predictability dominate. Wow, how did I say all those big words? I'm proud of myself. And Greg Lane says, where shopping is a pleasure. There you go, Greg. So what is the one thing that you all do because it feels safe and comfortable? Billy says, I threw newspapers as a kid. That's cool. Yeah, I remember I sold Avon for a while. I did that. I did Mary Kay too. Yeah, I used to sell Avon, Mary Kay. Yeah, I think I did a lot of that stuff too. It was pretty fun. Yeah, so what's the thing that you do because it feels safe and comfortable? I like, my thing is just getting out and go walking to the bay, right? I talk about the bayfront all the time. And then I also love to go to, my son's house on the weekends and hang out with them all day, and my grandkiddies. And that makes me feel safe and comfortable, hanging around the people that love you, right? So what makes you guys feel safe and comfortable? Will Fly says Greg. There you go. Will Fly said Greg. Yeah, with the thumbs up. That's right. Speaking of thumbs up, if anybody's watching and my chatters and everything, hit that like button, y'all, okay? My chatters, my viewers. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't subscribed yet. I'm Paramount USA, and you're at Lindy's Treehouse, and I'm here every Thursday, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time, and I'm having so much fun doing this tonight. And I appreciate all your feedback in the chat. I just love it. I love it, love it. And I love you all, too. You made my day. I'm just feeling the energy coming off the laptop, like it's just coming like this. It is. I'm just feeling it. I am feeling the energy, the good vibes tonight. That's what there's so much good vibes going on in the treehouse tonight. I just can't explain it. So they call it neuro. So we have scientists that study, about the comfort zone thing, right? And stepping out of your comfort zone triggers dopamine release when you succeed, refurnishing, something like that, growth and learning. Reinforcing, sorry, I can't even read my own writing. That's pretty bad. Reinforcing growth and learning. What's the one thing, and you guys will all have an answer for this one. What's the one thing you've done that pushed you into your learning zone? Oh, what pushed you into your learning zone? Man, not every day is a learning zone for me. You could be 70 years old. Every day is a learning zone, right? Doing my live stream. When I first started my live stream, that was a learning zone for sure. I would think the learning zone for you guys would be your flying, right? Learn to fly. And never stop learning, right? You never stop learning, because that's part of the comfort zone too. You want to get out of that comfort zone. You want to learn more, you want to keep changing, and just keeping things going. That's what I look at it. Let's see. Greg says, speaking of learning, I just finished a book. It took me a little longer to finish because my crayon broke. How do you say it? I say crayon. Some people say crayon. Is it crayon? Put it in the chat. Is it crayon or crayons? I don't know if I said crayons or crayons when I was growing up. It was a big deal going to school and getting that big old box of, it's crayon. Okay, Greg Lane says it's crayon. Okay. So I used to get really excited. I used to be very jealous of the kid that'd be sitting next to me and had that, the big box of crayons, the big, like the multi-pack, and I'd be looking at my little crayon, pull my little crayon out of my pencil case. Do they even call them pencil cases anymore? What do they call it? I call them pencil cases. I'm going back to school now. I'm going back to school. Yes. I remember kindergarten. We had to memorize our address and our phone number. I remember going home and I had my phone number written on a cutout construction paper that looked like a phone. I remember having my phone number on there. And then I remember we cut out a thing that looked like a house, and then we put our house number on there. And yeah, and then we had to learn about stranger danger. Well, I think that was my kids when they were in school. They learned stranger danger. Do you guys remember? I know I'm getting off track here, but do you remember McGruff? McGruff? He was the dog. It was a dog, McGruff, and he was the one that I think talked about kids being good and all that stuff. John Wayne says they called me Pencil something when I was a kid. They did? They called you Pencil? Pencil something? I was called, when I was in grade school, I was the jumping jack. I know that's hard to believe with me moving back and forth in my chair, but I couldn't sit still. Until this day, I still can't really sit still. But it's funny, I sit down on the couch and I'm doing all this stuff, but now you get to an age where, and John Wayne, and you guys know, and Bill H, that sometimes you just can't jump up like you used to, right? You have to just kind of, sit up slowly, right? And get up and do whatever you got to do. So I still haven't figured it out yet. I still think I'm like 30 years old or whatever. Oh no, John Wayne, Greg says, I see where you're going. So we'll go back to my notes. Stability provides predictability, reduces anxiety, which is crucial for mental health. Okay, so in order for comfort zone, right? This is the good part of it. We're doing the pros of it. The comfort zone is, reduces anxiety, and it's crucial for mental health. So we all got to have some kind of, comfort zone is not a bad thing. It's not a bad thing, okay? Then number 2, it says efficiency. It's familiar tasks require less mental energy, allowing you to perform well in routine activities. So if you do what's some routine tasks that you do at home that you're comfortable with, right? Doesn't take any mental energy, just what is it? Drinking coffee, sitting in there watching the TV all day kind of thing, efficiency, familiar tasks. I remember in the early days, I worked at Home Depot. John Wayne says, take a nap. Yep. There you go. I remember in the early days, like I said, when I was working at Home Depot as a cashier, I was getting kind of bored being a cashier. I was like, I need to do something different. So here we go. Another thing jumping out of my comfort zone. Instead of being a cashier, they put me in I went into a department. And so I worked the electrical department, right? I didn't know what I was doing really, But I could tell you what a conduit was by the time I was done, when they trained me, right? And when I worked in electrical, that's when the phones, the cordless phones came out. And I remember before they had merchandisers doing all this, I had to set up all the phones. When they come in, I had to put all the phones together and set them up and display them and all that. And we had displays on the, remember the cordless phones? That was huge. That was the beginning, right? So, so that was another thing I had to. And working in a department, being the cashier and then going to work in a department, it kind of showed me like both worlds, right? I got to learn what it's like to work in a department and then be a cashier. So, the cashier, the customers, you're the last to see the customers, right? So a lot of times you're taking the brunt. If they've had a bad day, you're going to hear about it. Now, when I worked in electrical, sometimes they would ask me questions about running wire, from the garage and all this stuff. And then I would have to give it to the guys to do that, because when it started getting Bill H says, my late wife worked at Home Depot as a greeter until she got the cancer. Oh, Bill, I'm sorry. Yeah, door greeters. Yep, I remember those. Yeah, I remember that we had door greeters. And then those went away. Yeah. then they took that position away, right? So much stuff. I remember there'd be 4 girls working in the vault, right? And in the store. And then all of a sudden they were down to 2. And then they were down to 1 girl, and it just it really took the fun out of all of it. But yeah, it gave me a chance to see what it's like to be in a department, see their side. But when they started talking about pulling wires and, moving wires through a garage and everything else, then I would give it, I had the best people. The guys were awesome. This was in the 80s. 87, I worked at the one store. I worked at it from 87 till almost 99. And then they tore down the store to build a new one. Then I transferred over to another store. So I was at that Cave Creek store for quite a while, and I'm still friends. My friend in Arizona, I'm still friends. We're still really good friends that we worked together at the store in 89. And so I still have some Home Depot peeps that I still keep in contact with. But what an experience, right? I loved it. I mean, working in the, and then when I went to the other store, they were like, "Oh, you worked in a department. Okay, cool. We're going to put you in hardware for a while." Because I started out at part-time. I think when I transferred over, right? They gave me part-time for a while, and I worked in hardware. And it was all good till they wanted me to make keys. And that was pretty, the idea of somebody just watch, and if you've ever had it back in the day, had a key made at Home Depot, and you got people standing there staring at you while you're trying to make the key, and you don't know what you're doing. You got those little grommets, whatever those things are called. I forgot, I'm probably saying the wrong thing, but pins, that's what it is. Those little pins, and, and they wanted them all, the locks keyed together and all that stuff. And it was just like, talk about comfort zone thing, right? So then we have recovery. So sometimes it helps you retreat back to recharge. So yeah, comfort zone can be a good recovery too, right? I don't know, let's say you went on vacation or something and you didn't have a very good time, and you come home, and you're just like, man, I just feel like you got beat up the whole time, right? And then you come back home just to kind of breathe and, think about the vacation, all that, and regroup, right? So, and then sometimes people find comfort using their same favorite recipe, right? So mine used to be like, I'm not a cook by any means, and I don't really bake, but I used to bake banana bread all the time till my tummy decided it did not like bananas anymore. Yeah, I don't know if it's because of the sugar in it or what, but in the bananas, I don't know, but I can't eat banana bread anymore. So sometimes you find comfort in the same recipes because what you're familiar with. So what is your favorite? What's your favorite comfort food? Yeah, let's say that. What's your favorite comfort food? Put that in the chat. Maybe your favorite recipe, something that you make that makes you feel good. I think this is really cool topic. I really think I picked a good one. I do. Let's see. I'm going to watch in the chat. Tell me what your comfort food is. My comfort food is, Greg says, just had shepherd's pie this week, one of my favorites. Oh yeah, my shepherd's pie is okay. I'm not like big on it or whatever. It's okay. My comfort food is, I make, let's see. Bill says peanut butter and Ritz. There you go. Yeah, that's what I had today. Peanut butter on some crackers. Yeah, pretty good. It's really good. What is I like to make, because I have my air fryer, right? So I cook tater tots in the air fryer. I love my air fryer. So I cook tater tots in the air fryer first. And then I buy organic, boneless chicken breasts and Wolf Larson ice cream. That's shocking, Will Fly. You eating ice cream? What? What? Thank you, chatters, for. I love all your answers, my chatters. They're awesome. They are awesome. You guys are doing great. Yeah, Bill H is good one, Will. Yeah, that must have been really. That must have took a lot to put that answer in. You had to do a lot of thinking on that, right, Will? But wait, Will. What flavor? We want to know what flavor. What's your favorite ice cream flavors? Yeah. You like are you more of a Blizzard guy? Are you an ice cream cone guy, Will Fly? We want to know. Give us the scoop. Give us the scoop. I love ice cream. I love the Blizzards. But I can't eat ice cream anymore either. So weird. I'm slightly, I guess, lactose tolerant, whatever. So I like my almond. I buy almond milk. I love almond milk. Breeze milk or whatever. I have that in my cereal every day, and it's not so heavy on my stomach. Almond milk, I think, is really good for you. I love it because it still has the calcium and all that. So Will Fly, what brand? I mean, what flavor? What flavor of ice cream? Because you just put ice cream in there. We know you have you like ice cream, but what flavor, Will Fly? What's your favorite flavor? That's what we want to know. Mine used to be, vanilla. All right. Okay. My mom used to buy, Greg Laney says, I once dated someone who disliked people without feet. What? She was a lactose intolerant. Oh, boy. Greg Laney. That's a Shane joke if I ever heard one. If Shane's listening, that is a Shaney joke. I once dated someone who disliked people without feet. She was lactose intolerant. Oh, Greg Laney, you're a funny guy. You're funny. I'm having so much fun with this tonight. You guys are just awesome. You're awesome sauce. Sauce, not socks. Awesome sauce. Yes. And we're going to do Spinny Wheel next week. We got everybody, not next week, the week after, because next Thursday I'm going on vacation for a little while, and then I'll be back on the 2nd, October 2nd. We'll be back on that Thursday or whatever. So far so good. Yes. So anyway, they're saying like now these are the cons of comfort zone. Okay. So we had the pros, right? The positive stuff of comfort zone. Then we have the cons. So stagnation. So limits personal growth, skill, and development and new experiences. So we all get into that zone, don't we? That stagnant zone. And that's what I feel like, because the last time I walked to the bay was August, because it's been hot. And I don't do good walking in the heat. It's just not fun. That sun beating on your back and everything. I mean, I'm getting really antsy. I'm ready to get out and walk. I really am. So, yeah, the skill and development, new experiences. So my latest experience, right, was going up in that lighthouse and going up those spiral stairs. That was an adventure. That was an experience. That was something I've never done. So that was totally jumping on my comfort zone. I could have very easily said, no, I ain't doing it. But my daughter-in-law looked at me and she goes, you can do this. You can do this. It's okay. I'm right behind you, I'm right behind you. It was scary because you're going up that lighthouse and you're on those black spiral, stairs, and you are going up and up, and it took me like 3 minutes, and you try not to look down, but you have to look where you're walking up. And as you're looking down, you're getting higher and higher and higher and higher up there. And you've seen how high the lighthouses are, right? The little windows. Yeah, I went up there. I was up there. And then I had to come back down, right? And there was a gal that was standing next to me. And she was probably my age, maybe older, I'm not sure. But she went up those stairs like nothing, And then there was a ladder right next to me where I was standing, which you could jump on the ladder. You could climb up that ladder and go to the very top. And I did not trust myself going on that ladder because the ladder, the steps were like so separated and all that. And I was like, no way. And this lady next to me, like I said, this older lady, whatever, she went up on that ladder. And I'm just looking at her like, okay, what do you think I was thinking in my head? BISH, right? Yeah. I'm going to say BISH. I'm not going to say the whole word. Yeah. Yeah. I'm looking at her like, dang you. God, now you're making me look, really stupid because I didn't climb up there. But the only reason I didn't go all the way up there because, I got this vertigo. But the funny thing is, when I went up in the air, the vertigo did not bother me at all. The 3 times I went up in the air, it did, because I wasn't like looking up, if I would have been looking up at the sky, but I kind of stayed focused when I was up, up in the air, kind of looking down or looking forward. But I never looked up because that would have screwed me up if I would have looked up in the air, at the sky or whatever. So, I always, you saw in the videos, the video I'm looking down because I don't want to miss anything because it was so beautiful, right? And then looking forward. But going up this windy thing in the lighthouse, that was different. That was different. I was shaking by the time I got to the top. I was literally shaking. And it wasn't so bad going down. It was going up. But you know what? Now that I know, right? If we ever go somewhere else and we do another lighthouse tour, at least I know what to expect, right? So pretty crazy. Okay, so we're saying missed opportunities, like promotions, relationships, or adventures. So sometimes we miss opportunities in life because we don't get out of our comfort zone. We kind of stay in the comfort zone. Mine personally right now is like relationships scare the heck out of me. They still do. I've been divorced since 2018. It scares me, heck, I was married for 18 years to this person, and you think, and everybody's been through it. This is going to be your forever person, and then boom, not so. That's okay. God had other plans for me, and that's okay. That's why I'm here. I'm not still sitting in the Southwest, right, by myself. So, but that comfort zone, yeah, the relationship thing, it's still kind of, I don't know, call it missed opportunity. It's more like I've been there, done that, But my daughter-in-law gets me on a lot of adventures, and we do a lot of stuff together. And my daughter-in-law and my son, we always plan different things, So, and then there's like regret. Okay, so staying too comfortable often leads to regret about unfulfilled dreams. So, think about it. What if you never pursued flying, y'all, in the chat? Right? What if I never would have went up in the air? I would have been so bummed at myself, right? When that first year, when I sat in that chair, when the first time I jumped in that chair, in the on that seat, on the paramotor, and they strapped me all in and everything on the trike. What if I wouldn't have done that? And what if you all would have never decided you didn't, the flying wasn't for you or whatever? What do you think your life would be like right now? What if I would have just, not went up in the air and experienced what I did? I would have been even worse off, I think, because going up in the air like I did, right? That's another big thing. What did it do? It took me out of my comfort zone. Bill says, I was born to fly. It was meant to be. That's right. That's that song. You're born to fly. Yep. There you go. that song, I tell myself to the preacher, I was born to fly. There you go. Yeah, born to fly. Um, I never imagined myself going up in the air when I went up, in 2022. Never in my wildest dreams. I just, I just know I'd be watching the Paris shows and everybody kept talking about flying and getting in the air. And I was like, I don't know about this, And everybody asked me all year long, and Eric, and bless their heart, and JD, I love you, Jade Lear, kept saying, hey, you want to go up in the air? I'll take you up, And so I finally, of course, it was a big day. I got finally in 2022, got to meet Jade and Eric in person, and it was so cool. And I got to see Bonnie. That was the second year. The second year the first year I went up in the air. Yeah, I got to see Bonnie and who else did I see? I saw, Jade and, oh no, it was 2023 because Ryan, my son Ryan, was with us. So he was there. Nobody was there the first year that I went up in the air, 2022. My daughter-in-law was there because she's the one that took me to the flying, and she stayed there. So she's the one in the pink that you would see in the video, and she took videos too. But yeah, she's the one that she was with me. She was the only family member that was there. Nobody really knew I was going to do, go up and get my first tandem. Nobody. Robert or Ryan had no idea I was going to do it. I kept thinking about it, right? And the closer it got to, to the time to fly, the more excited I got. And then I just took a leap of faith, right? And like I said, I know I tell you this 100 times, but that was my comfort zone. I jumped out of my comfort zone, boy, oh boy. And I'm so glad I did, So what is something in the chat that you guys, that you're glad that you jumped out of your comfort zone, whether it be flying or just something general? You went on your first date, you got married. What was some, besides flying, what else do you think experience you have that took you out of your comfort zone? When I first got in my apartment in 2021, it's pretty scary, right? Because I love it up here. The environment, everything is so cool, but it was kind of crazy, I had to get acclimated and everything, and I had to learn all different things, and a lot of things changed, and I felt like I was constantly on the phone, and but I did it, right? I did it all by myself. I was on the phone, changing this, changing that, and 2021 was just crazy. Bill H is retiring. There you go. Yep, I retired in 2020. Sold my house, and here I am. God works in mysterious ways, but boy, oh boy, I'm just blessed, that everything turned out. Bill says not clocking out anymore. Yes, exactly, Bill H. Yeah, I don't miss. Sometimes I have dreams of being back to work. It's crazy. Yeah, I have dreams sometimes being back to work, but yeah, just and like I said, when I first got in my apartment and everything, I didn't want to go anywhere. I was just, to venture out. Even though my daughter-in-law, and my son, they would drive me around and say, okay, this is here's the college, and you can pretty much walk to the college, Mom, and then the little stores right here. If you need to get milk or do anything, if you run out of something, you can just walk up to the store. And I remember looking at all these little places. They were taking me all through town and everything, And then 2021, I moved up here, and that was in September. And then, of course, winter came in before you know it, right? Before you know it's Christmas again and all that. So probably in January, February, something like that. I don't know. Whenever it was a nice day, maybe it was March of 2022, right? I I walked to the, I took my first walk down to the bayfront. Okay. And talk about stepping out of that comfort zone, right? Yeah. Walking down a street that I really was not really familiar with, but when I walked to that bayfront and I saw that water and everything, Lake Michigan, it was so beautiful. I knew that this is where it was meant to be. This is where I was supposed to be, as soon as I went down to the bayfront. And I remember telling my son and my daughter-in-law, look what I did. I walked to the bayfront all by myself. And, I was so proud of myself. And then, the rest is history, right? Now I walk to the college now. I never imagined myself walking up to the college and go on that beautiful indoor track. And the reason I did that was I had a friend, I saw somebody on Facebook that lived in the area and said, hey, I need a walking buddy. And I was like, Anthony Vella, how are you, sweetheart? Oh my gosh. Leandra, I love you. Anthony, I watched your video today. I watched your YouTube today. How are you doing? I was praying for you. I was watching that. I was just praying for you. I love your family so much, Anthony. Oh my gosh. Talk about an inspiration. Yes. And you let me know, Anthony, when you're ready to be, you're doing much better. I can feel it. I feel it, Anthony. I feel the vibes. Leandra, big hugs, babe. Big hugs. I love you so much. You guys. Oh yeah. Bill, let's just give, lots of prayers for Anthony, everybody. Big hugs, everybody. A group hug in the chat for Anthony and Leandra. You guys, I'm just so proud of you. I'm so proud of you, Anthony. I was almost crying when I was watching that video today. I really was. It was so profound. Just, it's like addiction it's serious stuff. And, no matter what it is. And I never got, addicted to anything like that, what you had or whatever. But I quit drinking, right, 3 years ago. And, I could relate to that. Like the day that I decided to stop drinking, and I just gave it to God and I said, I'm done. I want to feel this way anymore. And the next month, it was scary. Yeah, taking that last drink, right? And then throwing that wine box away. It was scary. I'm telling my testimony here. It was scary. I called Robert right away and we prayed on the phone. And I gave my life to Jesus. And I was like, that was it. And it's been life-changing. And I'm going to keep praying for you, Anthony. I really am. And let's see, I'm following the chat here. Okay, all right. So let's, Anthony, because next Thursday, I'm going to be taking a little vacay with the family. But when I get back, how about, Anthony, I'll get with you. How about October 2nd? How does that look, Anthony? I would love to have you as a guest. October 2nd is a Thursday. How does that look for you? Let me know, okay? Yeah, because next Thursday, I think that's it, right? Because we're already at the end of the month. I'm looking at my calendar here so I don't mess this up with my days because it's very easy. So next Thursday I won't be here. So then, the following Thursday is the 2nd. So let me see. He said, it sounds great. Greg Lane says, a new chatter in the group. Hope you're feeling better. I actually had an incident about a month after you on a smaller scale. Your video serves an inspiration for recovery. Definitely, Greg Laney. Definitely. Oh my gosh, Anthony. I am just like I'm so moved right now. I mean, that you jumped in the chat, you came in the chat. I was thinking about, really, I've been praying for you both, and I've been thinking about your family and thinking about you all day. And after I watched that video this afternoon, and Anthony says, that's awesome to hear, Greg. How are you doing now? Oh my gosh. Feel the love, Anthony. Feel the love. I just, wow. I'm just blown away. I could just feel the vibes coming. I knew tonight was going to be a good night. I just knew it when I sat down, and we've been such a fun show tonight, right? Talking about peanut butter and comfort zones and all that stuff, right? I mean, it's kind of cool. I think the show, I had a lot of fun tonight. I really did. Anthony, yeah, you are such an inspiration to everybody. I tell you what, like I said, when I stopped drinking, that was it. I was done. I did it for me. I didn't, I just did it for me. And even though sometimes the family's like, oh, you don't drink that much, you're good, whatever, it's okay, And I'm like, nope. Okay, Anthony says I'll mark the calendar for October 2nd. Awesome. Oh, I'm so excited. Hit that like button, peeps. Yes. I'm Paramount USA, and you're at Lindy's Treehouse. And I'm already, let's see. I'm here every Monday. See, Anthony, I'm all excited now. I'm here every Thursday night, 8 o'clock p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Yes, not Monday. Don't look for me on Monday. I'm not going to be here. Okay, come on Thursday. Thankful Thursday. Just think of that if you can't remember the day. Right? Say Thankful Thursday. Yeah, subscribe to my channel. Bring your friends in. Tell your friends to subscribe. I'm at my 67th or 68th show now. Greg Laney says it took a year to heal. Leg, back, neck are better. Still dealing with leg swelling. Took about a year to fully recover, but now looking to get back in the game. The recovery is, no joke though. And Anthony says, I hit the white button, and now I've got to put the kids to bed. It was great hearing from you. Have an awesome one. Take care, everyone. Thank you, Anthony. Give Leander hugs for me, okay? I love you guys. You're like family to me. And I'm going to keep praying for you, okay? I'm going to keep praying for you. Feel the hugs. Feel the love. I am just so happy. I am just so happy that you jumped in the chat tonight. Yeah. Yep. We got you. You got it. You can do this, right? That's what we say. Yep. Anthony says, love you too. Take care. Looking forward to being on. Good night. Night, Anthony. How cool is that? Wow. Yeah, I watched the video. I don't know how many of you watched the video, but if you didn't, it's on YouTube. Be sure to watch it. Anthony's video. Be sure to watch it. Bless his heart, right? Dang. Okay, so you guys all mark it down October 2nd, okay? So we're going to get Anthony on here on October 2nd. So I'm pretty excited. Yeah, because next Thursday, I'm going to be hanging out with family. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. That's our once a year get together and see my sisters and my sister-in-law and my son, the friends and all that stuff. And we always have a really good time. So it's all good. So I'm pretty excited. I love my family, and it's our tradition now, every year. Because before you know, it's going to be wintertime, right? And then we have the stupid snow and all that stuff. And yeah, put it on your calendar, October 2nd. You saw it right here, folks. You saw it right here, right in the chat. Anthony said he'll be here. He will be here at the Treehouse, October 2nd. Anthony Bella. Man, he can bring Leandra, too. I might say her name wrong, Leandra, but she's beautiful. She's beautiful. I hope to meet them someday in person, They're both beautiful people inside and out. Well, Anthony used to frequent Robert's show, right, on Paragliding Talk, right? Remember, he was on there. He used to come on there a lot, hang out. So I think we're going to have a really good time. Really good time. And this way Greg can tell his story. And this show is going to be huge. This is going to be huge. Everybody's going to want to stay, and they're going to want to be in the chat on October 2nd. Absolutely, everybody. So, Will Fly says, love you all. Thank you for the entertainment. You're welcome, Will Fly. We love you too. We love you too. So, I guess we're going to wind it down. Well, it's 9:30. Not too bad, right? We're doing good. So, so yeah, you don't want to regret staying too comfortable, right? Because we're talking right back to the comfort zone. And reduce resilience over time. Avoiding challenges can make it harder to cope with the change. So when I moved up here, it was, moved up to my apartment, moving clear across, from the Southwest to the Midwest. It was scary, it was scary. But I did it, right? And I had to take that leap of faith, and I just had to do it. And I'm just proud of myself that I did. Linda should take some road trips to the South and West to recruit viewers and meet up with the paramotor celebrities in the community. You would love the experience, and it would be fun to see. I would love that. I wish I had somebody to go do all that with. That's another thing. It's hard to meet people, I go to the scene. So I was like hanging out, like going to the senior centers and all that, but it's pretty much 90% women in there and 10% men, and I don't do bars or anything. And fly-ins are the best to meet people for sure. Let's see. Will Fly says, FYI, Scuba says no show tomorrow night. Okay. All right, Scooby, you guys have fun, you and Munchkin. Enjoy yourself. Oh my gosh. Enjoy. Yes, I'm happy that you're doing this flying and everything. Don't worry about the show tomorrow night. Don't worry about it. We're all good, Like I said, I'll be back here on October 2nd. So don't worry about me. And look at this. I found, how I always show a painting, right? Because we're winding down the show. Because that's another thing. When I stepped out of my comfort zone, the day, New Year's Day, 2022, New Year's Day. My daughter-in-law invited me over to the house for dinner and everything, and we had to paint. We painted, and I learned how to paint. And I started out with one picture, and then all of a sudden, 50 pictures later, right? So this is my favorite picture. Can you guys see it? Can you see it? Do I hold like this? It's kind of hard because it's so big. I don't know if I have to maybe slide back a little bit. Let me see. I don't know. Let's see. And I'm trying to hold it in front of the camera. Maybe like that. There we go. Kind of get the idea. Maybe I'll hold like that. It's kind of cool, but it's pretty big. I don't know. Could you see it okay? My painting? Greg Lace is very nice. What's at the bottom? The shoreline? I couldn't see that. Yeah, there we go. The grass. It's got the grass. So we got, yeah, there we go. Yeah, I had it. Yeah, the grass. Yeah, it's kind of cool, right? Because it kind of inspired me when I went to the one day when I went to the whatchamacallit, the bayfront, and the grass, and then the grass, and then the rocks, and then the water, and then the sky. So I really had fun with it. This is kind of like my favorite picture. Every time I would go go to the bayfront, I'd come home and I would be inspired to paint something. So very nice. You are only 1,000 times better of a painter than me. You know what, Greg? Talk about, comfort zone. I never knew I could paint. I never really knew, really, like when I was married and everything, my whole focus was my husband at the time, right? That's all, and everything was for him. Everything was for him. And boy, I learned. Let's see. John Wayne says they have an EAA flying in Moontown that weekend, but I might drive out to Kansas. My old friends out that way and are gone now, but I'd like to see it again. Okay, that's cool. So yeah, I didn't know I could paint, right? Like I said, when I was still married and all that, I didn't really have any hobbies. I really didn't. All I wanted to do was just be on the road with my husband at the time and do rodeo stuff, and besides working, everything, I put him first all the time. But anyway, now that I've came here, right, started my life over again, I found me again. I found Lindy. I found Lindy was there all the time, but I just had to bring her out, as the saying goes, right? And so my daughter-in-law said one day, "Come on over, we're going to paint," because she can paint beautiful stuff. And she's like, come on over, we'll paint. And so I went there and I painted my first beach picture. And when I started painting everything, I was so scared because I'm like, I don't paint. I've never painted a picture in my entire life. Seriously, I never paint. Maybe the oil paintings. Remember growing up, the oil paints? And the oil paint kits and all that. I used to like that oil painting. Maybe that was the start of it. And so I guess that's in our genes, because my ancestry, even though I'm adopted, right? My ancestry, some of the people, like my biological cousin, his granddaughter, she paints. She's a really good artist. So maybe it runs in the family. And his dad was like that too, which would have been my uncle, biological uncle or whatever, because I was adopted and all that. But that's a whole nother story. But yeah, and I painted my first picture and I was so proud of myself. I'd never done that before. And then 50 paintings later, seriously. So I get really inspired, see a lot of stuff. And you can do so many things. There's so many things that you can find around the house to paint with, and I'll get into that later too. That I didn't, I learned so much. And that painting, I just did that. I just came home one day from the Bayfront and decided I was going to paint a picture, and that was 2022. And so I was still pretty new at it. And I got inspired and just painted that. Maybe I might have seen a picture that I liked and I kind of went off of that. So I love to share my pictures with you every week. So that's one of my pictures. And so I got pictures, hanging all over in my bedroom right now. And anyway, I really had a good time tonight. I'm going to read the closing. And I love y'all. And I appreciate every one of you. I'm really looking forward to Anthony Vella being here on the 2nd, October 2nd. So I want y'all to be safe. Take care of each other. John Wayne says, gotta go. Great show. Make sure you hit that like button, okay? And throw a comment in there, like after the show, you get in there, you open up my link and you put a comment in there and just say, great show, something, put that in there so that YouTube sees it too. But this is, I'm going to read this. This is my wish for you, okay? Because, I always have the closing. I always read the closing. Happiness deep down within, serenity with each sunrise, success in each facet of your life, close and caring friends, love that never ends, special memories of all the yesterdays, a bright today with much to be thankful for, a path that leads to beautiful tomorrows, dreams that do their best to come true. And this is my favorite part at the end of it. and appreciation of all the wonderful things about you. So much love, everybody. Thank you so much for hanging out with me tonight. I had so much fun. We just pretty much hit everything. I'm really proud of myself. I got to pat myself on the back like that. Yeah. I thought the show went really well. I'm just super stoked. The vibing, everything, I just felt all the positive vibes tonight, and it felt really good to have y'all here with me because we all need each other, right? So, so thanks so much to everyone who stopped by today. You make this possible for me to do this, because without you, I couldn't do it. And I will see you next time. You are all amazing. You're all amazing. And yeah, tell that person, tell that stranger, you're amazing. Some people would just want to hear that, So no show tomorrow night with Scuba. And we'll see him next Friday. We'll have a lot to talk about. We'll see all that. And yeah, and then Ready Paramotor, I'm not sure what's going on with that right now. But anyway, I'm just happy you're here. Thank you all for joining. My viewers, my lurkers, everybody keep subscribing. Hit that like button. Hit the notification so you know when the show's going to start. And y'all have a great rest of your week. Have a great weekend, okay? And I'll be praying for y'all. Please be safe up there in the skies, okay? Please be safe. I want y'all back here October. And then you see me on Facebook all the time. So all that good stuff, right? I'm just looking at the chat here. So I'm going to end the stream and close this off. And like I said, thank you so much, everybody. You all are awesome. Greg, let me know when you get your Elvis socks, okay? Let me know. And everybody else is good. Y'all be safe. Scuba Munchkin, Bill H., Will Fly, Greg Laney, Cowboy, Anthony Vella. You guys, you're all awesome. Munchkin, I said that already. Scooby-Doo and Munchkin. Shaney, if you're out there, love you, man. Y'all be safe. Have a great time at the fly-in. Okay, I want to see everybody back here next week. Everybody be all safe and all that good stuff. So I will see you later. I'm going to end the stream now. Okay, got to close it up because the dude downstairs is already going to sleep. So all that stuff, the neighbors. Got to be a nice, house person, right? In my house, in my treehouse. So, bye, everybody. Take care, okay? We'll see you next time. Much love. Much love. Much love. Don't forget, Jesus loves you. Say your prayers, okay? All right. All right. We're ending the stream. Bye, everybody. Bye-bye.